Awesome. So thanks everyone for joining this morning, the Cloud Communications Group CX workshop. Today we have on with us one of our good partners, UJET. So we will go over a little bit about who Cloud Communications Group is if you haven't joined one of our webinars before. And then we will get into UJET, let them tell you a little bit about themselves, and then they're going to run through a little demo. And we'll close up with a Q&A here. So looks like awesome. Good. So Cloud Communications Group is we're a trusted advisor. So basically what we do is we help our customers in specifically the contact center and cybersecurity space, but everything from vendor sourcing, solution architecture, project management during implementation, and then even after the fact, we help with lifecycle management. So making sure you've got the correct number of licenses, you're being billed correctly. We just keep an eye on all of that so that you, as an IT leader, don't have to worry about that. You can just, sleep well knowing that everything is correct on that front. So here's a little comparison of Cloud Communications Group versus some other types of trusted advisors or consultants. So, of course, you've got the service providers. Those are going to be your UJETs, your Five9s, your AT&Ts. They'll help you design the solution. Of course, they keep up with the product, but you're going to have to pay for professional services and managed services on top of that. The consultant tab is going to be your Deloittes, your Accentures. They will do just about everything that we can do, but they're gonna charge an arm and a leg for it. So you have to worry about that. Resellers, they typically focus on hardware sales, and they're also tied to certain vendors. So they're going to be pushing certain products based on quotas that they have to hit. We are a vendor agnostic consultant, so we work with all vendors. We really truly want to find the best fit for your business. So there are other technology advisors in our space, and they typically fall under that fourth broker agent column. Some of them, they source the solution, and then that's kind of the end of the engagement. So we started there, but we wanted to wrap a lot of services around that in order to give you the full solution and really make sure, that we become a partner of yours, not just kind of a sourcing arm for you. So that's why we pulled in, the lifecycle management, the solution design. We really want to become an extension of your team and help you with all of that side of the business. And so these are really the questions that we come in to solve for you. Of course, on the advisory side, we make sure that you're not wasting time with vendors that aren't going to be a good fit for you. Of course, everyone knows end of the month, end of the quarter, you start getting those calls from those sales folks. They have quotas to hit, and whether or not that solution is going to be the best fit for you, they've got quotas to hit, so they want to get that deal closed. And we really stand in between you and the sales team to make sure that they're not putting any undue pressure on you. And then, of course, that you're getting the solution that is going to be the best for your business, because everyone's different with integrations and just different business processes. Some vendors may be a better fit than others. And on the expense management side, like I talked about, we really make sure that you're being billed correctly, all of your contracts are optimized, and we also make sure, if you're a company that's involved in a lot of M&A activity, or you're acquiring new companies, we can help you figure out, what that company has in place, maybe why they have it in place, help you figure out if it's necessary. And in those types of engagements, we usually come in and, immediately find cost savings because there's a bunch of circuits, phones, licenses that aren't needed, that we can help you get rid of. And then I said, we do have a specific focus on cloud contact center and cybersecurity, but we also, cover most everything in the technology stack that is sold as a managed service. So, of course, you see technology expense management at the top, cloud, contact center, unified communications, mobility, and network are some of the other big areas that we play in. I believe that is my last slide.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I'm going to share my screen here. Just do a quick little intro. Thank you, everyone. My name is Brandon Ackert. I'm the Director of Channel Sales here at UJET. Joined with me today is Robert Cardini. He's our Enterprise Sales Executive, and Evan Bills, our amazing solution consultant. What we want to do here is just give you a couple minutes overview of who UJET is, and then turn it over to Evan to give a really amazing quick little taste of a demo, and then leave this with for some Q&A at the end here. So who's UJET, right? UJET's been around 6 years, and we're a different CCaaS provider than anything else out there. We've kind of pushed the limits and the possibilities of what can happen between a consumer and a business. And the analysts have actually said we've evolved what was known of the contact center to the new iteration of contact center and what they're calling contact center 3.0. And how we're doing this is a few unique ways. So we know that through all these analysts, through Gartner and Forrester and the rest of them, that 85 to 90% of interactions between a consumer and a business is happening on a smart device. And frankly, nobody has taken advantage of these supercomputers we have in our hands, right? We're doing everything on these. The old adage of provide these great tools to the agent, and these agents are going to provide these great experiences to the consumer, frankly, just isn't working. I think we can all agree that we're still having, very broken processes. You call a company, you chat a company, it's still very siloed. Frankly, the experiences just aren't what they've been promised to be, right? We keep hearing omni-channel is going to fix everything, AI is going to fix everything. It just hasn't come to fruition. So UJET's here to take advantage of these technologies and provide maybe a different twist on what contact center should be, and here's how we're doing it. So we've really got 4 differentiators here, and it starts first and foremost with our architecture. Being 6 years old, we've only been around during the age of microservices, right? So fully built out on microservices and very unique. We're built out in all the clouds. So whatever makes the most sense to you, AWS, GCP, Azure, it doesn't matter to us. Secondly, I touched on briefly is this multimodal omni-channel kind of smart device experience, right? We have, over the last 10 to 12 years, great advances in technology on these things. You have high-def cameras, you can scan documents, you can take videos, texting, etc., biometrics. Again, nobody's leveraging these technologies. So bring the way that you communicate with your friends and family into the way that you communicate with a business, right? So being able to take a picture and send that picture to a business, or take a video, scan that bill, all these different things, being able to do that the way you would communicate with a friend, with a loved one, to reduce that call time, to reduce that handling time, increase first call resolutions. Those are the things that we're doing here. Thirdly here is being purpose built for the CRM. So all those interactions that I'm talking about, right? Whether it's your voice or email or pictures, videos, etc., all that data that's coming in, we actually aren't handling any of that personal information. You've already set up your all of your security measures around how you want to handle that personal information within your CRM. So why not just follow those same directions, right? So we're streaming in real time all that data into that CRM of choice or data bucket of choice. Okay, so because we do that and we're not handling any of that personal information, it allows us to be the most secure and compliant CCaaS provider in the industry right now. Just about any acronym you can come up with, HIPAA, PCI, SOC 1, 2, 3, GDPR, in the next couple of months, FedRAMP, we have all of them. And then lastly here is going to be intelligence and automation, right? Being able to have intelligence and automation throughout the entire process to increase those efficiencies, to free up your human agents to handle those more complex calls, being able to unload those mundane tasks off of them and do things such as take payments, or doing these a various amount of different ways, whether that's a virtual agent via chat, or a virtual agent via a voice, many different ways. Frankly, I could go on and on about all the different cool, unique features and things we can do here, but seeing it is believing it. So I want to pass it over to Evan so he can show you the power of UJET, and I'm going to hand it over to him right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Let me share my screen as I'm doing so. I'll say it's very great to be presenting to everyone. Excited to show you the UJET platform here today. Please keep in mind that this is just a taste of the UJET platform. I'm going to show you one specific example between an agent and a customer, and where that customer happens to be meeting that company, or where that company happens, or where that customer is meeting that brand, if you will. But please know that there are several different channels or modalities that we can connect customers to agents within our platform here today. So a quick tour of my desktop. What you're seeing is a phone here mirrored, and it's just the phone that's sitting on my desk. I like to show both ends of the conversation whenever I'm doing demos. And you'll see that has benefits for both the customer, where the customer is going to be interacting with this agent, as well as the agent. Now, the agent's going to be right here within Salesforce. This could be one of many of the CRMs that we currently have out of the box integrations for. We also have a custom CRM adapter so that we can plug into those homegrown or those non-standard CRMs very simply. And for that, our technology you'll see within these CRMs is going to be built right into the frame here in an iframe, so that there's no technology or nothing that the agent has to download or install. They don't have to configure it. IT doesn't have to manage it. It's just going to be presented to those agents within that environment that they're used to. So this would be the agent's desktop within the CRM. Both our voice and our chat and our SMS adapter are built right in. Now, for the customer's end of things, what we're going to be doing is using a demo app here. And this is a mobile app on my phone. To be clear, UJET does not make a mobile app. What we produce is a mobile software development kit to make it very simple to integrate support technology directly into that mobile app, right where your customers are meeting you. And some examples of that can be seen within these. Some notable examples are Instacart and Fitbit here. But if you've used any of these products, you've probably seen that support in action. For my demo today, I'm going to use an example, and again, that demo app. And let's just say that my example is an IoT example. So think about Nest thermostats, or Ring doorbells, or Arlo cameras, etc. And let's say that as a new consumer, I just bought this new smart home thermostat, and I'm in that app trying to configure it, and I'm having difficulty setting it up. So I'm going to reach out to help and support. Now, what we've been trained as a consumer to do is to pull up a web page somewhere and search for support. But what if you could provide that support directly within that app, so that when that consumer does the natural thing and looks into your app for that help and support location, and when they click contact us, you could immediately connect them with an agent, either via a live chat session or with a live voice call directly within the app, bypassing all of the PSTN stuff. For my demo, I show all aspects of the platform in case some of it might trigger a nice creative flow for you, so that you can see the art of the possible here. So whenever I click on that, it's going to bring up our support libraries, and you're going to see a visual IVR trying to understand this topic a little bit more about why this consumer is reaching out. And since I'm having problems reaching out to or connecting to my new home thermostat, I'm going to go to support. And then I'm probably going to narrow that down a little bit and go to product assistance. Now, again, this is one of those places where, as a jumping off point, we could immediately connect them to an agent. But for my demo, I'll show the full functionality here. And whenever I click on product assistance, what you're going to see is that omni-channel selection screen from UJET. So we're going to be able to provide directly within that app the capability for the consumer to fill out an email. It would provide a form directly within the app. We could do a chat session with those with an agent. And for that, I'm given what my estimated wait time here is. I could do that instant voice call. And again, I'm told what my wait time here is. And if I don't like these wait times as a consumer, I could always schedule a call. And for that scheduled call, UJET can use some machine learning to understand your agent availability and present those times to that end customer. And then right at the scheduled time, we know that there will be an agent available and we can connect that agent to that customer. There's zero configuration on that end. You don't have to configure a calendar or a scheduling system. It's very easy to set up there. Now for my demo, I'm going to do that instant voice call, and you're going to notice that it's going to look different because I'm going to stay within the app. So this is a voice over IP call directly within the app. And over here, my agent adapter is ringing. I could set this up to auto answer, but for my demo, again, I'm going to do a manual answer. And when I pick this up, I'm going to be told right within the agent adapter who's calling and the topic they're calling about. Also, you'll notice that over on the customer side of things, we've updated the portrait of the agent. So to add a little bit of personalization flair there. But more importantly, we've looked this customer up based on any unique identifier within that mobile app. We've tied them to a record within the CRM, so we know where they are. We've presented that customer, that contact directly to the agent so they can see the contact details about them. They can see any assets that they may own here. They can see previous cases so that they can understand the full journey of this customer before reaching out to support this time. But more importantly, we've created a brand new case and we know the path that they've chosen. We know they went down support, product assistance. It's within the ticket as well as within the subject line. And since we're embedded within that app, we can pass along some very valuable data. So if you think about my example of the smart home thermostat that I can't reach out to, let's think about what that handle time would be for an agent talking to a customer. A lot of it would be questions trying to understand what type of phone do you have? What version of OS is that phone? What version of our app are you running? Are you seeing any errors on the screen? You know, do you have your Bluetooth turned on so that you can connect to it? Trying to understand all of these things. But with UJET embedded within that app, we can simply pass along any of that diagnostic data directly into the hands of the agent. So they can see immediately what was the customer doing before they reached out to help and support. You know, what are they attempting to set up? In this case, it's a thermostat. And I see that we have an error code, which I can tie on the back end to a specific problem within the app. But I know as an agent, they ought to have the Bluetooth on in order to connect to that smart home thermostat the first time. And I see right within this diagnostic data that the Bluetooth is off. Because with UJET, we can pass along hardware information like Bluetooth status, Wi-Fi information. We can even pass along GPS geolocation information. So before I've even asked this customer any questions, I know exactly what's happening within the app. I know how to solve it because I know what type of phone they have. I know the OS version that they're running, and I know the app version that they have from us. So I can simply skip to the part where I help them solve this problem, shaving tons of handle time off of this particular call and hopefully getting that first call resolution. What UJET typically sees with our customers that adopt this is somewhere in the neighborhood of between 30 and 70% reductions in handle times just by adopting this particular feature. Now, another way that we can lower those handle times, one of the great offenders here is user verification. So anytime you're reaching out about a medical issue or a financial issue, or really any account related issue, like updating an account, updating a credit card, et cetera, you need to understand if this particular user is genuine, like why are they reaching out? Or are they genuine when they reach out? And a lot of those questions typically sound like, you know, what's your mother's maiden name? What's the last 4 of your social security? What's your first pet's name? Or let me send you a text and please read that back to me. And these can be, you know, between 30 seconds and 180 seconds, right? But they still take handle time on every single interaction for those more sensitive interactions. But with UJET embedded within that app, we can simply make it so that we can click a button. For example, if I click on this Get Verification button, it's going to start a patented process where we can prompt the user, in this case via Face ID, to verify themselves. And then we can make a note of that right within the agent adapter, as well as directly within the case itself. So we have a record that the agent did their due diligence and verified that this is a genuine user. And additionally, what Brandon was saying earlier about talking with your friends and your family, being able to trade photos and videos and links while you're on the phone with them, UJET has another process here where we can simply request that via the app, like I'm doing with this particular user, so that I can send along a photo. This is an encrypted end-to-end transaction, and it's HIPAA certified, FINRA certified, et cetera. So you can send sensitive documents, identifications, et cetera, back and forth with these agents and have that be encrypted end to end. And this is a great place for me to mention that UJET does not store any of that private information. We push all of that into our client's system of record, like a CRM or their ticketing system, et cetera. So all of that information about their customers is going to stay resident in their CRM, where they already have management practices in place over them. Doesn't have to just be photos though. We can also request videos, and this is a good one for the IoT use case. We also see it in our roadside assistance use cases. We see it in our insurance claim customers. But for IoT specific example, when you're trying to diagnose blinking lights or beeping sounds, et cetera, that's difficult to take a picture of. It's very difficult to explain to an agent what is occurring there. But if you can shoot a live video, just like I'm doing here, and the agent's able to view that video and diagnose it immediately, then we can get to the heart of the problem very quickly there. That also gets attached directly to the case in real time. So you can see that UJET is not storing that. Now I could touch on some of these other things. We can request screenshots. Since we're still embedded within that app, it's easy for us to basically have the user minimize the support adapter, go to the screen where they're having the problem, and then the agent can push a screenshot request. And the customer just has to click a button to take that screenshot and send it along to the agent. And then it's treated just like the photos and the videos, where they can view it within the agent adapter. They can click on it to get a larger view, and we attach it to the case in real time. Last but not least, we have the ability to grab text input. Since I started this as a voice call, what if we need to get the spelling of a street address or an email address or even a customer's last name? So we could send that along very quickly. That again is attached directly into the case, and we can see that the customer sent that information in so that we have a record of it. And finally, at the end of my conversation here, I could set my next status as an agent. You can customize any status you want. You can set the color codes so the agent adapter changes. We report on all those status changes. And when I do click done to hang up, I'm left in a administrative wrap-up phase, which is also configurable. And over here, the customer is immediately asked to rate their experience here, including some text input. And then what UJET does on the back end, you'll see all of that information is now directly within the case. We have the CSAT rating that I just entered. We have the text feedback that I just entered in. But we also have an MP3 recording of the entire conversation now attached to this case for completeness. That was just a taste of the UJET platform. More than happy to spend any time with any of you if you want to reach out and request deeper dives into some of the other areas that we cover. But for now, I'll pass it back to Brandon and team for some Q&A.
Perfect. Thanks, Evan. Mackenzie?
Yeah, awesome. I haven't seen any new questions come through the chat. I think we've got a couple. I just want to give everyone a chance right quick to put any questions in that they might have.
Yeah, I just want to touch on, while we're waiting on that real quick, that this is a full enterprise contact center solution. The stuff we showed you today is just some of the unique things that we're doing that nobody else is doing. Your typical interactions via IVR, SMS, chat, reports, all the other things that you're used to, we do those as well. We do them really well, as well as a la carte. So whether that's chat, SMS, these other channels, we can do those on their own as well. So just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and Brandon, since you mentioned that y'all are, an enterprise solution, I know a lot of enterprises have multinational presences. Are y'all able to accommodate a global deployment?
Absolutely. I'm going to let Evan touch a little bit on what we look like from that perspective. Evan?
Yeah. So we are an international solution. You can, obviously, we're a telco provider, so we can procure numbers in pretty much any of the world's areas. We have 22 points of presence around the globe. So we are well serviced there. We can even practice data residency guidelines. So if, like for GDPR, if they need residency to stay in, say, Europe, et cetera, then we can cover off on that. And then finally, I'll mention that if the user already has a carrier that they're super happy with, they enjoy those rates, we can also take a SIP in and a SIP out for those inbound and outbound calls.
Awesome. And then, Brandon, UJET is a pretty unique name. Where does that come from?
Yeah, no, it's a pretty cool story. The founder, Anand, it was somebody close to him. They passed away from cancer. It was actually their name backwards, Teju, and he wanted to dedicate the company to them. And he said if the company did half as good as this person was, that it would be a successful company. So
that's awesome. Great. Well, I don't see any more questions that we have. So we can go ahead and wrap up. If you have any questions about UJET or CloudComm and you want to follow up with that, we'd be more than happy to get a meeting set up, 30 minutes or an hour to just do an introduction, learn more about your organization, and tell you a little bit more about us.
wonderful. So, well, thank you everybody for attending. Mackenzie, thank you for having us on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank y'all. I hope
Thanks,
everyone enjoyed it.
Cheers.